Welcome to the TLC, the Life Coach Podcast with Matt Halloran. Every week, one of the world's top life coaches, Matt Halloran, will share his wisdom through stories and ideas to help you live the best life possible. Success is only a podcast away. Now please welcome your host, Matt Halloran.
Hello and welcome to episode number 21, Self-Care versus Being Selfish. I have the honor of working with this wonderful woman who unfortunately recently lost her husband. She's in therapy with her daughter and herself, but I am not addressing any of the therapeutic issues she has. I'm helping her with focus. Life coaches can do a lot of things for you, and we really try hard not to overstep our bounds, even though most of us were or are therapists, because there's a very fine line between what we can offer as coaches and what we can offer as therapists. So I make that mindful every time I talk to her. And as I was going through some of the things for her to focus on, I started talking to her about exercise, because exercise was such a key component of her happiness that she has let go to the wayside because of grief. And I'm not telling anybody that you should not mourn. In fact, I think that what we're going to talk about today is a great opportunity to really mourn, and mourn to your fullest by making sure you have good self-care, because during major negatively impacting transitions in your life, self-care is one of the first things that goes to the wayside. Many people think that taking care of themselves is being selfish. And it really couldn't be farther from the truth, but we have to break down what self-care means, what selfish means, and intention is very important. Self-care is all about being the best you can be. I've said this on podcasts in the past. This is your one shot, right? This is your one shot on this planet at this time in this body. And if you're not living your life to the fullest, and I'm not saying you have to do it every day because that's an unrealistic expectation, but if you're not doing it often, you're really not living up to your purpose. And you can't do that if you don't take care of yourself. You are not an unending fount of energy. You are not a something that everybody can go to all the time, like this never-ending well where people can keep taking and taking and taking, and you just somehow refill that well without self-care. So many people try so hard to be that ever-present or unending well of resources for everybody else. And then they wonder, one, why they're not happy, and two, why they feel terrible, or they look terrible, or they don't have any energy. The reason is self-care. The exercise that I want you to do after you get done listening to this podcast is I want you to write down 3 or 4 things, not more than 4, things that really recharge your batteries. Examples like exercise, cooking, maybe yoga, meditation, prayer, hiking, biking, maybe even sedentary things like playing video games or board games, or just going out and chatting with friends, picking up the phone and calling an old friend. Any of those things that can recharge your batteries, those are not being selfish as long as your intention is for self-care. Now, if your intention is just to give yourself whatever the heck you want because you're the only person in the world, well, that is being selfish. But the other thing about self-care that so many people get wrong is the need to say no. One of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself is saying no to other people. For many people, that's very hard. They're pleasers. They want to do what they can for other people because it makes them feel good, and that's fine. But again, that's not an unending well of energy. When you give yourself the gift of saying no, self-care becomes so much easier. You might get resistance at the beginning. Maybe you've really never said no to anybody. Maybe everybody always comes to you because you're the person who always, says that you will help them. But the people who I've met who are in that situation, well, pretty consistently burn out. Or their mood on the other end is so extreme because they don't have good balance. Some of the nicest people I've ever met, who are the givers, who are the pleasers, who say yes to everybody, when they snap, they break. And it gets really ugly really fast because they're not saying no, which is part of self-care. When you write down those 3 to 4 things that are energy-giving things to you, I want you to take a yellow sticky or a whatever anybody uses, Post-it notes, put it on your computer, put it by your phone, put it in your purse, put it in your wallet. And all I want you to do is pull it out every once in a while and give yourself the ability to say no once today, once tomorrow. Find opportunities to say no. Be prepared for explanation. If your explanation is saying, no, I don't have the energy to do that right now, most people understand. Some won't. Some will be complete jerks, and you'll just have to deal with that. I don't really know who's in your life, but you need to slowly change the paradigm that is surrounding you. You slowly need to change the culture of your relationships with other people by saying no, which again is self-care. What should you do today to take care of yourself? For some reason, pleasers seem to like to be martyrs. People who have empathic tendencies are often martyrs. People who feel strongly, who connect strongly, who really, truly try to focus on what's going on in the world, consistently put themselves in a martyrdom situation, not to the extreme of martyrdom, but they wallow, or they even take pride sometimes in the amount that they give and how exhausted they are because, well, I help everybody and I don't have a chance to help myself. This is not a badge of honor you should wear. In fact, it should almost be like a scarlet letter. It should almost be something that you don't show, because your goal should be for you to recharge your batteries as much as you possibly can in order to help more people. I'd met this priest when I was young. I was raised in the Episcopal Church, so it's kind of like Catholic light, I guess. And what had happened was I had asked the priest, because, priests in general give their life exclusively to the church. And his recharging were these specific prayers. And now every religion has prayers and mantras, but he told me what those prayers were, and they were really, really powerful because the words surrounding this self-care technique that he was using were energy-giving words. And you have to find those words, those sayings, those mantras, those prayers, and say them on a regular basis. We've scratched the surface on neurolinguistic programming, or otherwise known as NLP, on podcasts in the past, and self-care is a perfect example of using neurolinguistic programming to really help. And here's a good example. when you consistently say, I am exhausted because I am helping everybody, you're reinforcing your exhaustion. You're validating that exhaustion. You're making that exhaustion even stronger. But if you changed the way that you said things and changed your philosophy surrounding it, which no was an empowering word instead of a word that had negative connotations for you specifically, and if you changed it by saying, I am tired, I am exhausted, so I should blankety blankety blank. I should meditate. I should pray. I should go for a walk with my dogs. I should go fishing. Your brain is very pliable around language, and the language that you use persistently makes it so that you feel in specific ways. And that's why being so focused on self-care is so important. In fact, I'm giving you all permission, not like I can, but I just want you to give yourself permission to be even a little selfish. Take the time for self-care. Take the time to take care of this weird, squishy body that we all have that houses our spirit and our energy. Because this is our transport. This is the thing that allows us to exist through this universe that we happen to be in right now. And if you don't take care of this thing, your life won't be as good, you won't be able to help as many people, and your time here won't be as long. Write down 4 things that will help you recharge your batteries. Give yourself the opportunity to say no once a day. And take care of yourself. Because this is the only body you got. This is the only time you have. And you'll truly be able to help more people with more passion, more energy, more strength by making sure that you have self-care. If you like this podcast or any of the other podcasts that you've been listening to, please make sure you subscribe. Maybe leave us a review either on iTunes or Stitcher or Podbean, wherever you are. And if you'd like to know more about some of the other things that, well, I do and what I can offer as a coach, please just go to matthalloran.com. It's not the greatest website, but it's got some stuff on there that you can sign up for a free 7-day intensive coaching program and a paid 30-day intensive coaching program. Just love to have the opportunity to help more people, trying to figure out ways to scale it. And you can help me do that. So with that, I hope you have a magnificent day. Give yourself those gifts we talked about. And I'll see you on the other side of the mic very soon.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy life to listen to our podcast. Remember, a single change, no matter how big or small, can start you on your path to live your best life possible. You deserve it. We will see you on the other side of the mic soon. Have a wonderful day.